He's a man who sees what's the real issue of today and sees why nobody else can see what the problem is.
Yeah.
So what is that? The technics of memory that suspends the biological programs of our existence means that we have to cultivate our relationship to those artifacts, to technological objects, and our relationship to each other in technological society, or technical society. And therefore that we need intergenerational transmission to occur, and to occur with a dynamism that means that it adjusts to technical change. And mostly that happens below the surface, and then there's some kind of shock because there's a large change to the technical system, or some kind of limit is reached, and things start to dysfunction. And that dysfunction becomes the dynamism of a new step in the cultivation of knowledge and ways of living. But at the same time, the techniques of memory is what Stiegler calls pharmacological, getting it from Derrida and getting it from Socrates. In other words, it can also sterilize knowledge, turn it into dogma, prevent the transformation, prevent the dynamism that needs to occur. There's no escape from this, because it's only through the techniques of memory that the possibility of taking the new step exists.
So this point, techniques is something that allows us to take a new step, but at the same time, it also has, well, if you say pharmacological, it's like it can be a potion, it can be curative, but it can also be a poison, right?
Which was Socrates' issue about writing.
Yeah, I always think about, maybe this is too simple, but I always think about, if you give me your phone number, I write it down on a piece of paper. Because I write it down, I'm not busy with remembering it. So if I lose the piece of paper, another more modern example is that I think most people, the phone numbers, the important phone numbers that they have, even the phone number of their wife or of their mother, are in their phone right now. So if your phone crashes, maybe you're not able to call them anymore.
Right. Well, that's exactly what Socrates says. This is why he's relevant today. And why you need Socrates today is because he did think that. And if this is what Socrates was saying about writing, when he said exactly as you said, that once I start to rely on writing, I stop relying on my own ability, and therefore I stop cultivating my own ability to remember, which is to say my own ability to know, then that's why Stiegler will say that Socrates was the first thinker of proletarianization. For Stiegler, proletarianization means the destruction of knowledge. And in the 19th century, there's a whole new process of the destruction of knowledge that begins to occur, and that Marx describes. And what is it? It's when the gestures of the worker are programmed into the machine. So instead of the worker knowing how to use a tool that means that they can weave, a mechanical loom takes that knowledge and turns it into information. And just as I said, the ability to understand how to use memory technologies orally disappears with writing, so too the ability to weave, etc., falls into oblivion as machines take over. Also powered by the steam engine, etc., of course. In other words, knowledge has a history, but in the 19th century, this destruction enters a new phase and becomes much more powerful. And if Stiegler says that we live in a hyper-industrial age rather than, as some people have said, a post-industrial age, it's because we have the industrialization of memory starting at that time.